Hello, everybody, and welcome to Riftbound Ramblings. I'm your host, Barrett, and today is July 17th, which is Thursday, as I record this very late at night. And I did not release a video for the reveals that we got on Monday, July 14th, but that was only because they gave us a singular card, and it is a lot more difficult for me to make a singular video on one card. So, without further ado, let's dive into the cards for both Monday and Wednesday, and I think we have some good ones. First off, we've got the Order Domain Karthus Champion unit. This was given to us by the Riftbound official on the 14th. For 3 energy and 1 power, you get a 3 might Karthus Shadow Isles Spirit Champion unit for the Order Domain, and it says, point blank, your Deathknell effects trigger an additional time. Now, you can be like me. As soon as you see this card, you immediately go digging for every single Deathknell card that you can play with this. And so, right off the bat, we have the Machine Evangel and the Soaring Scout. Now, the Soaring Scout, I think without a doubt, everyone can say that one is going to be a very good one to pair with Karthus. Why is that? Karthus costs a power, Soaring Scout gives you the power back, and then the bonus one as long as Karthus hits the board. This is a really nice play to do. If you go second, you can play a Soaring Scout on your first turn. You'll ramp your 2 more runes. On turn 2, you can play Karthus. When you go in with the Soaring Scout, if something were ever to happen to it, like a rebuttal of a battlefield getting taken, the Soaring Scout will refund you the rune that you gave up for Karthus, and then a bonus one for a future turn, not losing any sort of tempo. I think that's going to be good in any sort of Order Domain deck. That I think is pretty nice. And then the top one for the Machine Evangel, I think is another great one that can be used later in the game if you're planning on doing this sort of go wide order playstyle of using recruits, which of course Victor it doesn't mind doing. I'm sure Lux might even gravitate towards it. I think Leona and Darius are going to excel in it. So I'd see this being a very good one because instead of getting 3 recruits for a 5 might unit, 1 power, and 4 might, 5 energy, 1 power, you will get 6 recruits, but as long as you aren't running into an answer to something like that, like a bunch, like a yeah, I'll do well damage to everything, uh, that's very good. But if you do run into it, then it's not really that great of a combo because you paid 2 power to do a thing, and your opponent pretty easily got rid of your units. But Barrett, what else can we do with it? Well, starting with the far left, if you play Victor or Lux, you gain access to the Mind Domain, which currently at the time of this video is one of the few Deathknell cards that we have within the set, and it says Deathknell draw 1 card for the Watchful Sentry, which feels really nice because of what I just said about the Soaring Scout. The same thing applies with the Watchful Sentry, but in Victor and Lux you gain access to both of them while putting Karthus into your deck. That's pretty good. And then in the middle of the screen, I have Kog'Maw Caustic and also Undercover Agent. And I'll be very frank with you, I don't think those sort of combos with Karthus are very, very good. But don't worry, because we currently don't have a Chaos and Order Domain Legend, so you can't even do this right now. But these are the only Deathknell cards that have been given to us. Oh, sorry, I should specify. There are more Deathknell cards, specifically characters like Echo, but Echo has an additional cost when the Deathknell triggers of recycling him. You can't pay that twice, which means you can't ready your runes twice. Also, there's no point in readying your runes twice. You're going to have them already. So these are fine cards, but we don't have a legend to work with Kog'Maw and Undercover Agent. But I think it's pretty easy to tell by how much I've kind of dug into what Karthus can do. I do think Karthus is a challenger level card. I think this is one of the better things that is going to be in this game. You always have to consider whenever you see the word Deathknell on anything in the future. So easy challenger level, even if it's not end up being great immediately on release, he's going to be worth it because doubling up on these effects is meant to be powerful. Moving on for more cards, though, we've got Mind Splitter, and this was given to us by Amazonian. She makes other magic content and stuff like that. This were the starting reveals for the 16th of July, and for 7 energy, 2 power, you get a 7 might Mount Targon Dragon unit from the Chaos Domain that says when you play me, choose an opponent. They reveal their hand, choose a card from it, and they discard that card. So, what magic terms? This is Thoughtseize. on a 7 energy 2 power 7 might body. Granted, it's a dragon, so there is dragon support, which allows you to play a chaos and body deck, which is just misfortune right now, which allows you to reduce the cost of this card, but you still have to pay the power costs. And I think the card's fine. I just don't know how good it's going to be going forward. I think this ability is incredibly powerful, and it will allow a large card like this to remain on the board, because that's my biggest fear when you look at high costed cards like this is they are incredibly difficult to keep on the board because there is going to be removal right out the gate in the game, and I think it's not worth the tempo swing that could happen if your opponent plays removal and then plays something else afterwards to create more tempo on the board. So I'm still wary of this one, but I think this one is going to be pretty good. That being said, Chaos has a lot of power costs in it, so I don't know, but we're going to have to see. This kind of ability is incredibly powerful and strong, so I do think it's going to be good. I just don't know how good. And then moving on the same day from Amazonian, we also got Commander Ledros for 6 energy and 4 power. 4 power. I didn't say that wrong. 4 power. You get a 8 might Shadow Isle Spirit unit for the Order Domain. And it says, as you play me, you may kill any number of friendly units as an additional cost and reduce my cost by 1 power for each killed this way. Has Deflect, which is really nice, and also has ganking, so you don't have to bring it back to your base to start going to other battlefields in between or on different turns. The kicker here is getting 4 units to kill off. If you kill off 4 recruits, I think this card's insane. This card feels incredibly good to play. Those recruits can be at a separate battlefield that doesn't matter anymore. You can kill off your exhausted units. I think this is really good because Deflect and 8 Might make this card feel really strong if you only pay 6 energy for it. And as we saw even earlier, right? Like if you get a double Deathknell from the Karthus on the machine Evangel, that means you would make 6 recruits to help pay for this, which means you still even have 2 recruits and you have this incredible ganking Deflect 8 Might body. So I like this one a lot. I'm not quite going to give it Challenger because I just don't know how good and how easy of a game plan it's going to be to make this be played for basically no power. But even if it's only like sack 3 and then turn your gear sideways, that's not bad either. So I think this one has very good potential and is really, really cool. And last but not least, we have the Body Domain Lee Sin Champion unit finally given to us. This was given to us by Savage, yeah, on the 16th. And for 6 energy and 6 might, you get a Lee Sin Ionia Champion unit for the Body Domain that has Accelerate, so you can pay 1 power and 1 energy to have it come in ready. And it says other buffed friendly units on my battlefield have +2 might. So, first off, here's the alt art. It looks incredible. I think a lot of people really like. This is the Godfist Lee Sin. Um, a lot of people like this one, so I think this is a great alt art. But the other question we have is, of course, is this better to put in my champion unit zone at the beginning of the game than the Calm Domain one for any Lee Sin Legend deck? And I think the answer is probably yes. I like the Calm Domain Lee Sin, but for only 1 more energy, and you don't have to pay the power, you can accelerate it if you need to in this circumstance. You get 1 more might, and it makes your other buffed units at their battlefields even stronger. So it makes it's crazy to me because like I know that the Calm Lee Sin is really good at holding battlefields, which is what Calm is good for, as long as you keep stacking buffs and can protect this thing. But I actually feel like this Body Domain Lee Sin is actually better at defending things because the more buffed extra little friends you have with him means you have an incredibly high amount of might on a battlefield to help hold it. Not just that, but it works as a very strong offensive piece as well. It just he himself doesn't do the buffing. So as long as there are enough things in the game that are maintaining buffs on this kind of archetype of a deck for the Lee Sin Legend deck, which of course, your Legend itself gives buffs, I do think this Lee Sin is actually a little bit better than the Calm one, so I gave it a Challenger rating. I think this Lee Sin might even be good enough to play in other body decks that adopt doing buff mechanics. Don't know what that looks like aside from maybe like Volibear or Master Yi or something, but I do think this is a cool Lee Sin, and I might pick this one to be in my champion unit zone more so than the Calm one. But that's going to be all the cards for today. Of course, if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. Comment down below if you're excited for these cards that you saw today. And if you don't want to miss a video that I come out with, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But I did want to go ahead and warn everybody, if you've made it this far, of course, thank you so much. But this weekend I will be attending a Universus event for the regional in Louisville, Kentucky. I leave for my flight Friday morning, which means I just don't have access to getting the card reveals that will be coming out that Friday early. So I'm going to have to make that video when I come back the following Monday, which means we will do another double header video like today, covering this coming Friday's card reveals. That's the 18th. And then also I will be covering the following Monday's card reveals as well in that video. So thanks so much. I'll be gone for a little bit, but don't go anywhere. We will be back next week with some more card reveals.